Ready? Hi, I'm Robert Galbraith Jr. I got my double major degrees, 1985, SIU Edwardsville, National Administration of Law and Personnel. That's the internal affairs of America. That's the organized crime of America. These are all police recruiting responsibilities. But yet, they don't hire them in these towns. Otherwise, they would understand their own police corruption internally. And I understand all the internal anti House of Congress, anti everything from consumer fraud to the Federal Trade Commission to the Sherman Act because of all of these fines. Excuse me, because of all these impersonations and frauds of the government model of investigation. They might be the state and they might be the county and city, but they don't have an organized crime degree. They might have a degree, but you must have the 2 degrees to be the organized crime law enforcement psychologist of science of the administration of personnel performing the organized crime. And yet, the FBI on its own advertisement says they hire diversity. What happened to me? Where are those people at? Because I understand the 1990 Act of Building Modifications under our astronaut health filtration of air filtration and water filtration that is nowhere to be found on any of our water treatment plants, as well as the fact these people don't take the electrolysis water test, and that my own alderman and mayor put me in jail for this when I consulted on chromite, the Erwin Brockovich investigation of chromite poisoning, where my own son works at American Steel in West Granite. Not only is there dioxin spills there too, but we have chromite, silica, arsenic, dioxin, all clearly within a 2-mile area. And they sent me to school to understand chemicals and poisoning. They don't care about my degrees. They don't care about their own because it would reveal the perpetrators I were investigating were the chief of police, Don Knight, over the head of the DEA, Craig Knight, who cost me to lose $2.5 million. The own state's attorney, public defender, and my own personnel lawyer, Bruce Mattei and John Rakowski, they took the $4,000, told me I had to move out of my paid-for home. Apparently, the mob runs our country and our judges. That is what I see. And I don't have anything to do about anything. These are 25 to, hell, these are 40 years of retaliations by my own government. That's what I see. And I see a lot of fake news people, fake athletes, especially fake actors. That's what I know. And this is their idea of freedom of the Constitution, House of Congress. All of these actors have did was use their intelligence to overthrow the internal affairs of the NSA and the organized crime degree and the vetting of state, county, and city workers. In fact, you could definitely say that the actors and all of these people are the cheerleading group for the enemies of the United States. And they perform child endangerment occupancy permits. These get rid of the commercial single family houses sold after 93. They don't disclose the freon. being discharged illegally. That's killed our ozone. They don't have the asbestos roofing recorded at the city inspectors. They don't have the asbestos siding recorded at the city inspectors. And they don't have the freon recorded. And these are federal acts and laws. And they're supposed to be recorded at every public school for child endangerment investigations, just like all of our hospitals are supposed to comply with all public health codes, including their own HVAC personnel that haven't been to school apparently since the 80s. And they don't believe in COVID. They don't believe in NBC training. There's many things they don't believe in. And they're all acts of organized crime. And it looks to me like the terrorist idiots run our country. Pardon me. They certainly are not taking care of the colleges, because they've invented 2-year colleges to say we don't have to hire 4-year and 6-year degrees in this town at 78 grand a year starting pay. You tell me how much more corrupt it is, because it is nothing but corrupt. They didn't even vet me and my wife when I got ran over, and the FBI investigated in '89 at the Supreme Court. They were happier than heck that the Rent-A-Center was committing multiple personnel contract churning crimes, just like the police station. They never sent me a rejection letter or anybody else with a 4 or 6-year degree. And if they did, they withheld and held mine back. And I had half the pay back in '86. But that won't be the point. The point was I am the most qualified and probably the only ones with an organized crime degree. So why don't you tell me about that police chief who isn't performing organized crime degrees and has looked the other way, and that the mayor has obstructed an investigation into citywide chromite poisoning like Erwin Brockovich. And I'm licensed to do it. And the county paid for my education, and I had a contract. They're certainly not caring about Spectrum's 90,000 people. They allow them to drill through asbestos and lead illegally every day without licenses, like they have to show the roofers and the siders to have, or the city inspectors. And all the house appraisals, they pretend it's 1990 and that there is no air clearance to occupy. They pretend there's no EPA cabinet. They pretend there's no such thing. The insurance industry does not believe in their own personnel management of their own EPA houses, and they go out of their way to say there's no such thing as EPA business management licensing, and they just treat everything equally when it's not. And the American taxpayers are paying for these crimes with their equity every day. And you'll be worth less and less because of the slumlord party that has taken over the city inspections and our state property inspections and appraisals everywhere in America. They have manipulated the entire International Monetary Fund for our property's equity and subverted hundreds of thousands of jobs that pay up to $50 an hour. Thank you for your time. God bless America. Semper Fidelis signing off. This is all I can do.